This is Umar for BoxNation. I'm at the beautiful Pug Farm. Can we call it that, Don?
Yes,
Perfect.
Pug at the farm gym.
Exactly that. You just kindly picked me up from the station, and as we were driving into the farm, we could see the Wembley Stadium arch. And you told me that Daniel was looking at that every day in camp, visualising what was going to happen. Just talk to me about that, Don.
Yeah, basically, I'm a strategist. I read books that I've read in the past, The Art of War, and there's so many ways. It's not just about going to the war front and everybody getting shot. You don't necessarily win wars like that. It's about meticulous planning. Yeah, there's a lot of planning that goes into winning any battle. So you could have the finest soldiers in the world, and then you have people who are not as trained in terms of soldiers, or not as, you don't have the equipment, and they'll beat the people who've got the equipment because of planning, meticulous planning. So you asked me a question regarding the Wembley Arch. It's what you're referring to. So when we first came to view this farm, because there's already an established gym here, which is called the Farm Gym. It's been here for the last 8 years. It's a family that run it, the Lewis family.
Just bumped into them.
Oh, you did, yeah. Exactly, with the dogs, and so, Reese, the son of Gary, the farmer, who runs this joint. So we were using this place for the S&C. It's like a strength and conditioning gym, and we've been using it with our boxers in the past to do their S&C. Then I asked them a question: can you please let me use one of your barns to convert into a boxing gym? And they thought about it, and we came to an agreement, because normally we go abroad to do camps, and the whole thing about being in this environment, the tranquility, the peace you get when you come here every day. So when Daniel comes here every day, as you can imagine, first, you can't miss it. The Wembley Arch is, as far as the eye can see, you can see it there just every day. Imagine, not just Daniel, every member of our team, you can't miss it. So it's part of the attraction of being here, coincidentally, that we're fighting in Wembley. It's just one of those coincidences. And it's a beautiful thing. And like I said, it's about meticulous planning. The environment really helped us with the prep for this fight.
Well, this is the environment that had Daniel Dubois in the absolutely correct frame of mind. He was focused. When I came in a couple of weeks ago into this gym for that media day with Daniel, he was very switched on, focused, business-like, which he was on Saturday night, but very relaxed. He wasn't tense, he wasn't nervous, and I think that was one of the public's biggest questions in this magnitude of fight. 98,000 people at Wembley Stadium, how is he going to handle himself? But this place, yourself, whoever it was around him, and obviously inside Daniel's mind, he got everything bang on from the moment he started camp to the moment he ring walked and left that ring on Saturday.
Correct. I mean, like I said, when you're looking at Wembley every day for the duration of the camp, 13-week camp, so you're looking at it every day. Then when you actually get there, you know what, I've been here before, I've seen it from a distance, but I'm actually here now. So it's not just one thing, it's a combination of different elements that aid you, to equip you to go and do the job ahead.
You became the biggest talk sort of around fight week because you weren't there, you were ill. People were concerned, oh look, Don's not around, it's only during the fight week, he'll be there on fight night, but still, how's that going to affect Daniel? To be fair to Daniel, he was relaxed. He was in the same mode that I saw him a couple of weeks ago. He was, again, switched on and focused, but as I said, he was always calm, and he was quite good to be around, actually, Daniel Dubois. But let's just address your absence from fight weeks, because there was some wild theories and rumours going around, Don.
Yeah, I mean, I got to hear them, of course. I was in my sick bed. My team, that matters, no one else matters. My team, Daniel's father, the fighter Daniel, my team, my whole entire team, Ian Dewberry, Kieran Farrell, Tony Pill, Gaddafi, Samuel Eto'o, everybody knew that I was ill. My team. I didn't know that it was anyone's business to know. Yeah, it's not something you got advertising, I'm ill, I'm ill, I'm ill. No, I'm ill. And coincidentally, the way the Lord has it, we'd done a successful camp. We finished the camp on a Friday. On a Sunday, I fell ill on a Sunday. So the timing, if there was any time to get ill, it was then, okay? And so the wise thing to do, I called Daniel's father, I said, by the way, I don't feel too well. We both decided, where it comes to the most sensible thing to do was to stay away from Daniel, the fighter, because, and the team, because I could give it to somebody and they'll pass it on to Daniel, yeah? So it was decided, obviously in the fight week, there's a lot of media obligations that the fighter has to do, and the training is normally trimmed down anyway to mere 20% of training every day from Monday to Thursday, then it doesn't do anymore. So it was decided, we decided that I stay away so I don't give the fighter what I have, a bad flu, and which would hinder his performance, and which in some cases, if it's as bad as I am, he can't fight. Then that whole show, can you imagine? That would be unforgiving. That whole show, the production, the cost, people who have paid money to book a hotel, the promoters, you know, I'll never be forgiven. I couldn't forgive myself, yeah? So it was best to stay away. To my surprise, there's a lot of clowns on this planet. A lot of clowns on this planet. They, with no foundation, they felt to go and put out some, as former President Trump would say, fake news, yeah? That there's been a fallout. Honestly, it was unbelievable. Because I was so ill, there was no, I'm a guy who I would have got on the phone and I was so weak, man. I thought, why are people this wicked, you know, why? You know? And I did eventually, TalkSport called me, Jim White, he called me I was really late at night, he persuaded me to be heard, to clarify that I will be there, yeah? So I just wanted to be able to rest as much as I could. Then on fight night, highly unlikely I'm going to infect him because it takes about 48 hours to contract something like that before it actually kicks in. So we took that chance that on fight day, it doesn't matter, I'm going to be there, win the fight. God forbid if he gets ill now, then it's okay. So that was our decision, and then everybody got blown out of context or out of proportion. It's ridiculous.
Have you spoken to Spencer Fearon about that?
Right. Before we started this, I should have told you I don't want to hear that name. Ever. Ever. Yeah, ever. It's personal.
Okay. We'll leave that one there. On the fight itself, I said to you, Daniel was so relaxed. You could see that in the ring walk. It looked like he had control of his environment. And the whole show really it's Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium. Daniel, the champion, walked first, was on the B side of the post. Now I understand that Anthony Joshua was a huge commercial draw. The fight was actually made before Daniel was upgraded to full world champion. So the public have been complaining about that actually, but I understand the economics.
And so do I.
Yeah, so I don't think
we're good with that. We don't have a problem. It's not right, okay? It's not right. In principle, it's not right, but we understand and accept that. Joshua is the draw. Worldwide, whoever he fights, he is the draw. So yeah, no, I totally understand that.
But regardless of all that, from the first bell, when he landed that first jab, Daniel, and that was a big narrative going into the fight, whoever lands that first telling shot, he was the boss in there when everyone thought Anthony was going to be the boss, Dom. That's
why I never listen to people. Everybody, they've got their opinion. They could have got it right, but how wrong did they get it? Literally, the general public, you know, the general concept. You know, people are sheep. This world, the human behavior, they behave like sheep. Yeah, you say something, and people pick it up and they spread it, and they don't actually have their own brain to examine it. yeah, they'll just regurgitate and repeat what they've heard rather than examining it. So the vast majority of the world population behave like that.
Yeah. So what was the game plan? Reveal it to me.
The game plan is what you saw.
Simple as that.
Yes, sir. I'm not going to complicate it. The game plan is what you saw. Take charge. Take ownership. You own this ring. When we got in that ring, I said to him, this is your ring. It belongs to you, okay? And take charge. And it wasn't just on the night. That's what was every sparring session he had in this ring for preparation. That was the mindset. We'd already rehearsed the whole thing, like you should do. And, you know, we prepared for any eventuality. We were expecting the best Anthony Joshua, because why wouldn't we? Because this guy is an elite athlete, elite level. It performed, competed at a much higher level than Daniel Dubois, yeah, from being an Olympic gold medalist. And his resume speaks for itself. Anthony, this is of the personnel he has fought in his career. And so we'd be foolish to have gone into that fight under preparing. We over-prepared, yeah? So to accommodate whatever they would have brought, we would have had answers to it.
Did you know that Daniel was going to drop or at least hurt him in the first round?
Yeah, we knew, because I'm a very experienced coach. I've experienced a lot of things, yeah. So I was naive initially when I first started doing this job in terms of the rules, big fights, the referees, and et cetera, et cetera. So I didn't want to go into that fight where I will complain afterwards, or we got robbed. I'm fed up of being robbed. I'm fed up of complaining. Yeah? So going into that fight, I knew who the referee was. I know his behavior. I know that referee. Instead of saying, oh, I don't want that referee, yeah, I didn't. I left it alone. And I said the rules to my fighter and the team, we have to become the judge and the jury in this fight. This fight cannot go the distance, yeah? So we knew fully well, if it went the distance, I said, you would have had to drop him multiple times and still win all the other rounds to then get a fair shake. That was the instructions. He had to touch canvas multiple times if he managed to go the distance, and then still win the rounds that you didn't drop him. That was the instructions.
What did you actually think of Marcus McDonald's refereeing on the night?
No comment.
Frank wasn't very happy when I spoke to him yesterday.
Was he not?
No.
Yeah.
He said he'll be having a word with him when he's next season.
I don't have I'm just a trainer.
Anyways, back to, so we talked about the first round. You said you knew that Daniel was going to at least hurt or drop Anthony.
Yeah.
Do you think if that was in the first minute or minute and a half where he dropped him, that fight would have been all over because he was saved by the bell?
Most definitely. And had the roles been reversed where we got dropped, especially I think in the second round where he counted Anthony and Anthony stumbling forward, he told him to come to him and he stumbled forward. No, if that was us, the referee would have waved that fight off. I know that for sure.
Was there not a moment where one of the knockdowns, well, it wasn't given a knockdown, but Anthony's gloves...
There's so much inconsistencies. And because the referee, in my opinion, is a human being. He panicked. He didn't know what the hell was going on. He's thinking, hang on a sec, this is not supposed to be happening. But guess what, my dear friend? It is happening.
That jab of Daniel Dubois is not only so accurate, spiteful, precise, everything that you'd want a jab to be, but it's also a hurtful shot, a very hurtful shot.
It's a weapon. And I told people, it's well documented. Well documented. Every sparring partner that was not even in this camp, previous camps with Daniel, anybody who stepped in the ring with Daniel will tell you that jab is not nice. It's horrible.
It was a real problem for Anthony.
It's a problem for everybody. Yeah? Okay? You go and counter that. Counter it. Yeah? When I'm listening to all the nonsense, all these people, jumped up people, we do film studies. Well, they've got something to go and study now. At least study how to block and defend their jab. That's a starters. Yeah?
What did you think, as the rounds were going on, Anthony's game plan was, or was he going to adjust?
Let me tell you something about fight, the art of fighting. Mike Tyson also said a quote, Everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the face. That's a typical example, classic example of what that meaning of that. Everybody's got a great game plan till they get punched in the face. That's a classic example of that saying.
Okay, so what did you guys think Anthony's game plan was going to be, Don?
Well, I can't, because there's so many things I want to say, but I have to be careful because I don't want to educate these boys.
I see.
You understand me? Yeah?
In case there's a rematch?
I don't know, right? Whether there's a rematch or not a rematch, I don't want to educate these boys. They haven't done the journey. They haven't done the apprenticeship to be where they are. They've been promoted and elevated to be where they are, yeah? I don't want to make this about me, but I've done my apprenticeship. They do a research on my journey, 20-year journey, 20 years. Done my apprenticeship from the Southern Area level to English titles, to Commonwealth titles, to European titles, to British titles, multiple, 5 British champions I've produced in 5 different weight categories over the years. I've done my apprenticeship, which serves me well today to be able to train fighters, to be able to demonstrate what you saw on Saturday.
So apart from being the boss and asserting your authority over Anthony Joshua, was there anything else to Daniel's game plan or not? Was that it, essentially?
So can you repeat that again?
So apart from being the boss and asserting your authority immediately over Anthony Joshua, was there anything else really to Daniel's game plan, or was that simple?
Seek and destroy.
And when did you think it was going to end?
We planned it could end the first, and I swear to God, that was the plan. That fight could end any time. As long as he's in that ring, he was gonna get knocked out. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if it's in the 12th round, it was gonna end up by a stoppage.
Have you watched it back, though?
No.
Okay. From then being in the corner, at what point do you think either the referee or Ben Davison should have waved that fight off?
No, I'm not watching for any of that. I'm just concentrating on what's happening. We just knew.
Should it have been stopped earlier, is what I'm saying?
I'm not at liberty to say that. No, I'm not the judge. The referee's there to officiate. The referee's there. I'm not interested. I was watching what my guy is doing, making sure he's sticking, keeping his. And when we first started this camp, you have a code. You have the code for this camp was operation, should I say, was discipline. Was the word.
Discipline?
Yes, the word that we used. We wanted it to resonate with Daniel. I said, we had a meeting here, the fighter and the training personnel. The word is discipline. Discipline meaning hand discipline, hand placement, distance control, taking your head offline. So the whole thing entitled discipline. Keep your shape, keep your discipline. So that's what we managed to do that night. We got caught in round 5.
Yes.
We took a significant over right hand, flush bang on the chin. And we took 2 significant uppercuts, okay? And so when you think about these people told us we got hit with 40 right hands against Hergovich, yes, we did. It was a freaky thing. Luckily, we survived it and then became victorious. And everyone said, oh, if Anthony hits him just with one of those right hands, if it's small, two letters, but big meaning, right? So there was a lot of ifs, and it was my duty and the team to make sure that we can eradicate that or reduce, and with bloody hell did we reduce it. We limited them to one right hand, and I'm not supposed to take them, but our boy dealt with it. It wasn't even, I believe the front leg went a little bit, and he regrouped, and it was still very dangerous. So he went, Anthony came for the finish and got himself knocked out. Committed cardinal sin. You cannot throw that shot with your hand where there's various things it could. But anyway, like I said, I'm not here to educate them. That's their own problem.
I think you raise a good point there, though, because that was a massive talking point going into the fight. Oh, can Daniel take one of those right hands from Anthony that he was shipping from Filip Bergovic? But no one was really saying, can Anthony take shots from Daniel Dubois?
Yeah, that's like I said. That's the human beings. That's a disease that people have because people they judge from a point of hatred, jealousy. It's what they would like to happen.
Do you think there was hatred and jealousy towards?
Well, yes, it's evident in the terms you read. I don't read a lot. People send me things, and it's quite hurtful. It's either written or verbally. You know, all the experts.
Do you mean to you or Daniel? Or?
No, Daniel, forget about me. I don't care about me. I don't care what people say about me. Yeah? Daniel doesn't read nothing either. We keep all that away from him. Doesn't need to hear nothing. Yeah? It fuels us. Yeah? And we work even harder. Yeah? They said we couldn't do it. They said it was a mismatch over it. And Ben Davison, I have to name it. Ben, you have to learn because somebody sent it to me. It was so blasé. Yeah, you know, we could end this. This could be over. Who the hell are you, son? You came in yesterday to have that kind of stance. It was them that got their fighter beaten because of their attitude, complacency. Yeah?
What was this clip that you're referring to about Ben?
I believe it must have been probably 7 weeks prior to the fight. Somebody sent me a clip where he was being interviewed. I don't know who, and he was saying, "Yeah, you know, we could then end this fight like quick, you know, just boom, boom." But yeah, easier said than done because the whole camp they're probably just working on how to hit us with a right hand, and then when we take that away, what you're gonna do? That's what you saw. They panicked.
What I've noticed when you and Daniel have linked up is that from the Usyk fight in Poland till now, I mean, his CV's been phenomenal, the back-to-back fights he has, but in each fight, from Usyk to Miller to Hrgović to Joshua, we've seen improvements in Daniel, and in those fights with Usyk, Miller and Hrgović, in each fight he had spells of difficulty, and you've corrected certain things in a short space of time, because that Usyk fight was August 23, so 13 months ago. So you haven't been with Daniel for a very long time.
No.
But you've made significant improvements in each camp, Don.
Because my attention to details, I don't label it, I do film studies, yeah? All my films are actually on VHS. I don't have access to them anymore. But I've done enough film studies to last me 3 lifetimes. Boxing is it's a complex sport, but don't make it more complicated than it is, yeah? There is a science to it, but you can overstudy. Practicality is where I work. You can do as much theory as you want. You need to go and do the practical stuff and perfect it. The fundamentals, like how to block a jab. I'd expect a 2-time world champion, an Olympic gold medalist, to be shown how to block a jab. Right? It's quite alarming.
But do you think that's been took out of Anthony, or like that was there before, wasn't it? Or
you tell me.
Whilst we're on the topic of Anthony, actually, I interviewed him on the fight week, and I asked him about yourself, because you made a comment to Queensbury when Deb was in here about how your presence in Daniel's camp should be a concern for Anthony.
Well, yeah.
Because you know his boxing DNA, his
yes,
makeup,
I do, yeah,
etc.
Yeah.
And then he was telling me about how when you met at a petrol station...
No, we didn't. That's a lie.
You didn't meet at a petrol station?
No, I met Derek Chisora at a petrol station 5 years prior to meeting Anthony Joshua in the street. I didn't meet him. Him and his friends was in a car. I was driving my car, the same Jeep that you see I just driving, but not that one, but another one. Yeah. I've had a few of them over the years. Yeah. They recognized my Jeep, and they hooted me. It was daytime. They beeped me like it was a wide road, Finchley, Regent's Park Road, Finchley. They beeped me to pull over. I thought, I don't know these dudes. Yeah, but I can fight. Okay, I pulled over, and he got out the car to introduce himself to me. He was, I think, 19 years old. He said he'd only had 8 amateur fights for Finchley ABC at the time. And that's where the relationship started of me getting involved with him. Yeah, I won't expand on that, but that's so then I saw the piece, then he went ahead to say, yeah, and I used to spar Derek And then I called him up to say, don't come to the gym anymore. Lie, because that's not, I'm going to tell my own story. I'm going to tell my own story, how it happened. I've got video evidences for the whole thing. So don't dismiss me like that. That's not fair. That's not fair. I deserve better than that. You and Derek Chisora, who asked me to stop training you, hence why me and you parted. Yeah? Now he's with you, one of the cheerleaders. Chisora, this is. If you know what these people have done to me, yeah, shameful. And all I've done for all of them is of good. Yeah? All of them.
Do you want to expand on that? Or
No.
Okay. Right, as I feel like we're going from the fight to other topics.
Well, yeah, you know, honestly, again, obviously you're good at what you do. I didn't sit here. I wanted to talk about the fight. I wanted to make it brief. I'm a wounded man. Yeah, when everybody tell you you're going to get knocked out, your fight is going to... Do you know I'm only a human being? Of course, there's a possibility that could happen. One idiot, a well-established ex-fighter, went as far as saying that Daniel's going to end up in hospital. Do you know how disturbing that is to me?
Who said that?
I can't tell you. He knows who he is. He went as far as saying Daniel's going to be put in hospital. That's really sick. And that disturbed me. Right? The world is a wicked world, man. It's a wicked, vicious, wild world. People out there.
Well, what was certainly wicked was the ending of that fight. And we touched upon it here, where Anthony cracked Daniel with a big right hand. Daniel took it extremely well. He's always shown a very good chin throughout his career, actually, Daniel Dubois. And
sorry to stop you there.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a guy who went down from a jab from Joe Joyce because he had a broken eye socket.
Correct.
God knows the amount of pain. And he had the sensible thing to kneel down. There is such a thing in boxing, take a knee. Then he got dropped twice by Usyk from a jab, a southpaw stance jab. Mm-hmm. Then what I'm trying to work out, so how the hell a guy who's twice his lost in the past was by way of a jab? Explain to me how this guy's taken multiple right hands from Hrgovic, and we know Joshua can punch. Do you understand me? So there's a lot more people don't understand, yeah, when the mind is fixed, the power of the mind. The power of the mind. Everybody has that ability, the power of the mind, when you get it right. When you tune into the frequency of your mind, the universe, yeah, what you can do, okay? And yeah, so from now on to where, if it's written, we believe it is, and with myself, with my experience, and the team that I've got, your Kieran Fowles,
Tony Pill,
Ian Dewberry, yeah. Gaddafi, who's our latest member, yeah? And Samuel Eto'o, the conditioner. Because without the condition, you can't execute the skills, yeah? And God is great. God is great because we're honest workers. We don't tell Daniel what he wants to hear. Daniel's father is usually, every session he sits on that bench.
Yeah, I saw him.
And trust me, it's almost like cracking the whip. Including me, everybody's on their toes. That's the sort of camp. There's no bullshit. There's no one kissing anyone's ass. Yeah? That's the result you see there, because we all want to win. We all want the fighter. Give him the best. Be honest to him. Yeah? And that's the end product. Yeah?
No, yes, man.
No. And I'm an older citizen, so I'm a father figure in the sense that I'm not a boy. When I speak with authority. There's no joking around. We have a laugh. It's not all serious. We have a laugh. But when it's work, and Daniel's meticulous, he's methodical, yeah? He'll come in here, he'll hardly say hello to you because it's not because he doesn't want to say hello to you. He's here to work. No messing about. He'll sit down, bam. We've got a method, we've got a routine. I wrap his hands, bam. He's in the ring. Get his heart rate up, bam. It's methodical, yeah? There's no messing around.
Actually, it's interesting you bring that up. There was, I a quote from Daniel Dubois today on Talk Sport, and this kind of expands on what you're talking about.
Okay.
He's just here to work.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read it out in a sec. So this is what Daniel Dubois said to Talk Sport today. I was not going to freeze. I wasn't overawed or anything by the occasion. To me, it was like a stroll in the park, walking in there. I was just doing everyone proud, my family and my team. I couldn't let them down. I did myself proud. All the fights I've recently have been at top level, and I've come through every one of them. So yeah,
Correct.
I'm proud of myself. I was just doing a job.
That's right. That's how he treats it. I swear to God, the young man will walk through, like I said, the fields, which he come, look at the horses, look at Wembley, look at the horses, comes in, and like I said, he will barely say good morning to anyone. He will fist bump you, but it's strictly business. He'll sit down, get his hands rubbed, and it's on.
But isn't that refreshing?
Yeah, it's on.
Because especially in this modern world that we live in, and you can't blame fighters for getting caught up with distractions, etc., because there's distractions around you everywhere. But I feel like Daniel Dubois has got that kind of old school mentality.
Well, yeah, you are the environment you keep, you are the company you keep, you know, it matters a lot. The people around you, the energy they have, what type of energy they have, what's their purpose for being around you, yeah? We didn't have, unless you're in the team, immediate team, you couldn't be in this room while we was preparing. Nobody was allowed.
Just to go back to that fifth round when Anthony landed that shot and Daniel took it extremely well, as I said, and came back with a fantastic short right hand on himself, which was enough on that night for Anthony Joshua. Just talk to me about your emotions when that right hand landed from Daniel.
Because it's already been practiced and rehearsed, and so it was no surprise when it happened. And if you notice, I never even celebrated.
Neither did Daniel, actually. He waited for Anthony to be okay.
Correct, yeah. Don't believe any of the members of our team celebrated. And my legs were bad anyway. I normally jump, you know, and because I've been ill, I couldn't get the lift off that I would normally have. I'm a big guy. And so also I know Anthony very well, so it wouldn't be for me to start celebrating and stuff. Just want to make sure he's okay. Actually, I believe I spoke to him briefly in the ring, and he said he was fine, you know.
Was there anything else said between you two or not?
Pardon me?
Was there anything else said between you two?
No, just like you do. Are you okay? And you know, I know, as irrespective of what I've just had my little blowout, it's something I've been carrying for years. Okay, that little blowout earlier on. The kid, I'm a positive man. When you look at the positive sides of everything, where there's a negative, there's a positive. They have to coexist. You know, what he's done in boxing, what he's done it's been like, what is it, 11, 12 years?
Yeah.
And look what that kid has done, yeah? I always say he should be celebrated. It will. You know, people are not appreciated. Any art, whether it's a musical artist, a sketch artist, yeah, people don't get appreciated while they're active. It's only after they think, oh my God, they were really good, you know, right? What he's done for the industry worldwide, you know, and in this country in particular, like I said, every 400 meters or so, there's a boxing studio springing up. Why? Because of Anthony Joshua, yeah. And and for me, having the closeness I had with him, it was also a bittersweet thing that it was me engineering, not his downfall. I don't like the word downfall, to stop him to achieving what they wanted to be a 3-time world champion. If the choice was given, but we had no choice. Yeah, I would prefer it wasn't him. Do you understand?
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but it happens to, and he too, I don't know how he feels about coming up against me. I wouldn't want to be the man who was in that corner that day. Because it's Daniel Dubois, yes, I have to be in that corner. That's my fighter. It's my priority. Yeah, but that's how it was written.
Don, when we spoke just on that place there 3 weeks ago when I came to the gym, a week before the fight, you said Eddie and Anthony, didn't wake up one day and think, oh, we want to fight
Correct.
Daniel Dubois. Went and
I
saw
stand on that.
Went and saw Frank Warren yesterday, and they said they were 100% confident that Hrgovic was going to win that
Correct.
fight.
Correct. So was everyone.
They were going to fight Hrgovic.
Correct. 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 It's not. That's there's so many things, factors. Then they find themselves, okay, you know what? Josh is a warrior. He is. He said, you know what? If that's the fight I gotta have, that's the fight I gotta have. Yeah? And we didn't have any God-given right that we were gonna be victorious. We believed and trained that we were going to secure the victory. Yeah? But there was no they were so cocksure. They got this entitlement. We just have to turn up, hit him on the chin, and we win. Yeah, that was their attitude from the coaching staff to the fighter. They sold him that concept. You can't sell your fighter a false concept. Yeah? You can't sell your fighter a false concept. He was sold by the general public, and to my surprise, his team bought that concept. All you got to do is hit him on the chin once and you'll knock him out.
I saw you actually have a conversation, brief one, with Eddie straight after the fight in the ring. What was said there?
I won't go into details. It's a personal conversation, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, Frank Warren was delighted with the night, Don.
Well, hell yeah.
And he's backed, him and Daniel have been an unbelievable partnership, actually.
Oh, God, yeah, yeah.
Been through
Frank invested in the young man when he was 19. He had that much belief, yeah? Even when the chips was down, he still had the belief to engineer him back into contention. And look at that. What a story. What a story.
And the exciting thing is that he's only 27 years old, Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, just turned.
In September this month.
Just turned.
So this is just the start.
Correct.
Which is very, very exciting. There were some notable names at ringside, Don. What do you think Alexander Usyk was thinking watching that?
Only he could to tell you. I didn't care who was in there. I know, to be quite honest, yeah, only afterwards when I'm watching, I haven't watched the fight back, but I've seen clips of the stoppages, the knockdowns. So you see, that's the only time you start to see who was actually in attendance. And I thought, oh my God, it was a star-studded event, attendances. And I don't know, you have to go and ask him. We couldn't care what he's thinking. That's not what they wanted. That's not what the outcome they wanted.
I was going to say Daniel ruined a lot of plans on Saturday.
Well, I would say so. Daniel was not invited to this party. He crashed the party from the Miller fight, as far back as from the Miller fight. Yeah? He crashed their party, their lovely party.
Now he's the host of the party.
Well, yeah, it looks that way. Yeah. God is great.
No, but I'm not asking you to think exactly what Usyk was thinking, but look, from what I was reading in that situation is if the favourite Joshua had won, that sets up.
Joshua is better business for all of them.
Exactly,
Joshua is the money man. It's common knowledge. Hence why they would favour Joshua to win. It's good business.
Exactly. So from Usyk's perspective, obviously he believes he'll beat Tyson Fury in a rematch, and then
I don't believe he will.
Oh, you think Tyson beats him?
Yes.
Why?
Why? Because Tyson was beating him up in the first one, then took his foot off the gas, and I don't believe he'll make that mistake twice.
Do you think he knocks him out this time?
I think he stops him.
That sets up a Fury Dubois fight, doesn't it?
I'm not at liberty to expand.
That would be huge. That would be absolutely huge. But okay, let me ask this a different way, Don. Do you think Usyk would rematch Daniel?
Ask Usyk. I always say, people might think, I'm old, that the older I get, the more wiser I become. When I say things, people got their opinion, the same way I have my opinion. The way God plans things, we don't see it, including me. Yeah? When we had that thing in Poland with Usyk, I asked my God when I got home that night to the hotel, why, God? We did everything. The game plan was to a T. We stopped this guy. I will argue to my grave, prove my point, and I'm happy to die again. That punch was a legitimate punch. If anyone who knows boxing, and not judging it from a hatred point of view, yeah, weekend just gone, Willie Hutchinson was dropped with a belt line shot from Boazzi, identical shot. Yeah? It stood, it was counted. Andre Ward, namely, and Floyd Mayweather have made a living out of hitting people on the belt line because it counts. It's a very soft, horrible, weak point on any human being. You can have 10-pack, whatever.
Remember the Kovalev fight with Andre Ward?
Exactly, yeah? So, if you understand boxing to the level that I understand boxing, then you will know that was a legitimate punch, right? So, but when it went wrong, so we didn't get that, they ruled it off, and then the man was allowed to get back into the fight, as in Usyk, and with being the superior technician that he is, he was able to negate his way to get his win, yeah? So, that was taken away from Daniel, that moment. So what I look back at it now is that God said, right, I'm gonna let that happen for you to go back to the drawing board and get better and better to serve you for where you're going, which is where we are now. So when I look back at it now, the fight on Saturday is a bigger win than had we become a unified champion 13 months ago.
That's true.
That fight on Saturdays outweighs it by far, right? So that's God's work. So when you look at it like that, it gives me sanity. It wasn't meant to happen back then. It was too premature.
Okay, look, Don, I've taken up 45 minutes of your time.
Really?
So I really do
God,
appreciate
time does
it.
fly.
It felt like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add about this?
I just want to say that God is great, God is great, God is great. And advice to people, this has helped me as well. What I'm saying to you, I've also practiced it. Stop living in denial in most things in life, because the truth would always set you free. Remember that, the truth will always set you free.
Don Charles, again, congratulations on an epic, epic night and victory with Daniel Dubois. As I said, he's only 27 years old, which is very young for a heavyweight, and he's done so much and fought so many top names.
Yeah, and, his resume in the last...
Fantastic.
I'd like to know anyone who's done anything remotely close to that in the last 13 months with a new coach, new team, right? And we're only going to get better. I'll use the word layers. There's going to be, even from here, you build, it's layers, yeah? And he's only going to get better.
Yeah, again, fantastic night for yourself, for Kieran Farrell, Tony Pill,
Ian Drewbury, Gaddafi, Samuel, the S&C coach.
Samuel Eto'o?
Eto'o, yeah.
Not like the...
No, not the football, not Eto'o, Eti.
Eti,
yeah.
Eti. Okay, Don, appreciate your time on BoxNation, and I'm sure I'll catch you soon.
Thank you.
God bless.
God bless you.